Hello everybody, welcome back to the United Football. I hope you're doing very well. Arsenal against Fulham. We're back into the Premier League title race. Interesting 3 o'clocks. West Ham are in trouble, aren't they? Brighton choking at Newcastle as well. But this is all about the Premier League title. It's Arsenal against Fulham. You can see the team for Arsenal on the screen. No Odegaard at all. Zubimendi on the bench as well. Is there a little bit of rotation there in light of, I mean, why is Odegaard not in the team at all? You tell me. I mean, is it another injury for Odegaard? Has there been a fallout? It just seems a little bit strange if Eze got injured, you'd throw Odegaard on. So I don't really know what that's all about. But as you can see, Raya, Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Lewis Skelly, Rice, Trossard, Eze, Saka, Gyökeres. Bench of Kepa, Dalman, Hincapié, Madueke, Martinelli, Mosquera, Norgard, Zubimendi and Jesus. It's still a very strong squad for Arsenal. Fulham lining up with Leno, Robinson, Bassi, Anderson, Castagne, Lukic, Reed, Smith Rowe, Wilson, Chukwueze and Jimenez. Obviously no Sander Berg for Fulham at the moment, so that's a bit of a loss for them. But they'll give it a go. They'll give it a go, Fulham. They are the quintessential Premier League side. They will give it a go. Odegaard had a knock, says Danish, so that makes a bit of sense. Maybe they're keeping him back for Tuesday. But look, Arsenal job is to win. Win and put 6 points between them and Man City. Obviously, Man City would have 2 games in hand. I still think goal difference is absolutely huge in relation to this league table. So if Arsenal go and win 1-0 again, I'm sure they'll be very, very happy with that. I don't think that a goal difference of 39 with Man City having 2 games in hand is that good. And that's what happens if Arsenal only win 1-0. They have a 6-point gap. They have a goal difference of 39. Man City have 2 games in hand. And basically, they can blitz the goal difference if they win both games. So, look, I think Arsenal at some point might regret not throwing caution to the wind. But first and foremost, they have to win. Yeah, I probably think they will. Rub says, please let Arsenal win. I'm in danger. Thank you so much. Please share the video. Thanks everyone who's tuning in as always. And tomorrow night we are doing Villa against Spurs at 7 o'clock. So a Sunday night 7 o'clock game. I was just briefly talking at the end of the 3 o'clock games about how I think that they're going to name the new Man City stadium the Pep Guardiola Stadium. I wonder if I'll be right about that. What do you think about that? I think, I don't know. I think that, I don't know. Man City are chasing history, aren't they? They don't have history. So I suppose it's instantaneous history to do something like that. I mean, look, he has done a good job at Man City, but it just feels a little bit like, yeah, maybe wait a few years. I don't know. No, it's just a prediction. I don't know they're doing it. I don't know whether they're going to do it. I just have a feeling that that's the sort of thing they'll probably do. Right, let me know your thoughts on that. But, of course, I've got the snooker on here, just realised. You ain't going to be able to watch the football while you're watching the snooker. Let's get it on. There we go. Lovely. No, I've knocked it off again. What's for tea? You tell me. I think I'm having like some sort of Moroccan dish tonight. It's like lamb in wraps and stuff like that. I can't remember what the wraps are called. It's not like a naan or anything like that. Can't remember. I wish we could win with a goal difference of 4, says Enlock. Look, fundamentally, Arsenal just need to win. But I also think that goals are important. But it's not really what Arteta's all about until he is about that, isn't he? He's not really about that. We saw it in Spain. We saw it against Newcastle. And we might see it again tonight. Look, it's just a warning. I've said this last week. If Arsenal lose a title on goal difference, it will haunt you. It will haunt you for a long time. And the big problem that Arsenal have had in April. Listen to this. Southampton, FA Cup, 1. Sporting, Champions League, 1 goal. Bournemouth, League, 1 goal. Sporting, second leg, no goals. Man City, League, 1 goal. Newcastle, League, 1 goal. Atletico Madrid, 1 goal. So they've played 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in April, and they've not scored more than 1 goal in all 7. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's pragmatic. It's by design. 7 games and you don't score more than 1 goal in any of them. That's pragmatism. They were a better team before Christmas. They've gone very get the job done, haven't they? But it could change in May, as Austin said. 6 goals in 7 games, 6 goals, yeah. Thanks for the super chat, Rub. By the way, you can do that through the $sign. Do those and we'll read those out. Thanks everybody who is tuning into the show. Saka back in the team today. Look, I don't agree with the Saka fall-off nonsense. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's going to be very important for England if he can stay fit. And at 24, I mean, he's not even in his prime for a couple more years. So he's a massive player for Arsenal and he's a massive player for England. I just think Arteta has slowed Odegaard and Saka down by 50%. I think their whole game has just slowed down. And I don't even think it. I know it. It's there. They are slower than they have been. And when I say slower, I don't mean their running speed. I mean the way they get the ball. And this is definitely a thing. You get the ball, you move it quickly. You get the ball, you move it. 1 touch, 2 touch, whatever. You get the ball, have a little bit of a look. Have a look around. What do you think? How are you feeling? And I think that's been the big problem with Saka this season, is that it's he has been a little bit low in relation to slow. Sorry, in relation to how he's playing. Yeah. Dougie says Arteta tactics are criminal. Well, there was someone on the previous stream saying, would you pick Arteta over Carrick? I find that incredible. I can't believe people would pick Carrick over Arteta. You don't have to like his football, but the guy has taken Arsenal to the Champions League semi-final for 2 years in a row. He's finished second in the Premier League 4 years in a row. There is no doubting he's a good coach. You might not like his style of football, but there is no doubting he's a good coach. And I think Arteta does get disrespected a lot, primarily because of his behaviour on the touchline and the way they've played football this season. But he's a good coach. There's no doubt about that. Don't you think it's a bit weird how he was better when he was 18 than he is now? He's had, look, KM, he has had a few injuries, Saka. He has had a few injuries. People laugh that Arsenal are second, but I think that's pretty good considering it's the Premier League, says Samuels. I broke up with my girlfriend, says Outlaw, on my birthday. Any advice? You broke up with her or she broke up with you? Because if she's broke up with you on your birthday, that is bang out of order. She could have done it the day after, the day before. I mean, that is low. That's lower than a bloody worm's arse, that is. Dumping someone on their birthday, that's cruel. What an absolute shithouse, basically. You don't do that. You don't dump someone on their birthday, do you? That's horrible. Broke up. Anyway, look, I'm sure. Look, get back on the horse. Not that horse. I'm not saying she's a horse. What I'm saying is, when you fall off a horse, it's an analogy, right? When you fall off the horse, you either fall on the floor and cry and, oh, I've hurt my arm. Or you get back on the horse and you go riding again. That's still an analogy. So, if you've been dumped on your birthday, that's like falling off a horse. Get back on the horse and start riding again. Now says, I am seriously stressed out as an Arsenal fan. And you'll be all right today. You'll be all right today. Fulham are, say what? Fulham are a good footballing side. I don't think they'll park the bus. You might get a few goals. Regan is a Liverpool fan. I enjoy the content, but I think Iraola would be a perfect fit, as you said about Enrique. He won't get the backing and the players that he wants for his style of play. Thank you very much, Regan. Look, there's no doubt Iraola's better than Carrick. There's no doubt he's a very interesting manager. I think he might suit Newcastle if Chelsea and Man United don't go for him, actually. But the interesting thing for Liverpool fans, Reagan, is you're going to keep Slot and Chelsea are going to get Alonso. I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, I'm trying to think about when this has happened before, because it definitely has. You've got, I mean, that's an incredible stat for Anthony Robinson. He's the third most overlapping fullback in the Premier League this season, and he's missed half a season. So realistically, he's number one. But yeah, I know it's happened before. I just can't think when. Liverpool fans, some of them want to get rid of Slot and they want Alonso. You're going to keep Slot and Alonso's going to go to Chelsea. And if it goes tits up next season and Alonso's doing well at Chelsea, you know, that's a terrible miss, isn't it? Terrible miss. Kick-off. Irish Beckham says, come on, Fulham, I'm here for Arsenal tears. Did you already prepare your dinner for tonight, says Tim? And I agree with you. Arteta doesn't get the respect he deserves. I know what I'm having for dinner. I haven't prepared it. Egan says, would you take Arteta at United? I don't like the way Arteta's played football this season, and I don't really see what the relationship would be with Man United. I think there are reasons not to take Arteta. But he's definitely a better coach than he gets credit for. Yeah. Sebastian says, how are Solihull Moors doing? I think they finished around mid-table in the National League. Yeah. Baller League's back on Monday. Yeah, it'll be live on my channel. I think we're game 5. There's some good games on Monday night. Who's playing on Monday night? Prime are playing Deportrio. And SDS are playing NDL, so it's basically top 4 play each other. Yeah. Thank you, Gabrielle. So easy just to block people and ignore them, isn't it? You know who you are. Come on, Fulham. I'm here for the Arsenal tears, says Irish Beckham. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think people, as Jabu says, people prefer attacking football rather than pragmatic football. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I hate? When people say, well, football's a results business. Oh, you've got a mouth and an opinion, have you? Well done. Nice ball into Calafiori. Good tackle there. Good start by Arsenal. Trossard just shoots wide. Yeah, you know when you say I want to watch attacking football, and people go, yeah, well, it's a results business. Hold on a minute. You've just expressed your opinion. Now let me express mine. I don't like pragmatic football. I like attacking football. I'm going to tell people about it. Well, it's a results business. No, that's your opinion. I like attacking football. I don't like pragmatic football. Shove your results business up your arse. Also, good attacking football tends to win games of football, doesn't it? I mean, Jurgen Klopp won the league playing attacking football. Pep Guardiola's won leagues playing attacking football. So Sir Alex Ferguson. So as Real Madrid have won Champions Leagues, you know. It's a sport. As Savage said, it's for spectators. Jack says, a team that plays 4 centre-backs every game for a season should never win the league. I hope they bottle it, says Jack. Who do we think is going to win the league? Let's have a little bit of a poll. I said Arsenal at the start of the season, and I hope I'm right about that. However, at the moment, I just think, you know, unless they go out and win like 7-0 today, I think Arsenal will keep winning, but it really is about goal difference for me, and I just think Man City will get the job done on goal distance. Have you seen Man About Dog, says Tommy. Ireland's funniest movie. I haven't. Are you going to do any other games this weekend, says Oliver? Yep, so we've got Man United against Liverpool tomorrow on the United Stand YouTube channel. And then at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, we've got Villa against Spurs here. Sorry, I put Fulham in the poll. Shit. End the poll. 60% still said Fulham. Read the poll. I think you thought who's going to win. Who will win the league? Arsenal or City? People still voted Fulham. Fulham fans can't believe it. They can't believe. I don't believe it. I think this will be a good game of football though, because United played Fulham in February and they were brilliant. Quick movement of the ball, wing play. They could upset the party. You never know. Can you ask AI to compare Rice's last season at West Ham and Concedo's last season at Brighton to Anderson and Tonali this season? I'm just curious, Sisley. I don't think AI does that. If anyone wants to do that and copy it in, and I'll read it, but why can't you do it as well, Slaith? Compare Rice's last season at West Ham and Caicedo's last season at Brighton to Anderson and Tonali this season. I'll try it. I don't know that it actually works like that, but it might be a bit too broad. Okay. Pass accuracy. It's only done 3 stats. So tackles, interceptions per 90, 2.8 Tonali, 3.1 Anderson, 4.3 Caicedo, 3.8 Rice. Pass accuracy, 87% Rice, 88% Caicedo, 85% Elliot Anderson, and 86% Tonali. Goals and assists, 4 goals, 1 assist Rice, 1 goal, 1 assist Caicedo, 3 goals, 2 assists Anderson, and no goals, 2 assists Tonali. The verdict: if you're looking for the new Rice, Elliot Anderson is surprisingly the closer in terms of his ability to carry the ball and impact both boxes. Sandro Tonali operates more like a tempo setter, lacking the sheer physical enforcer stats that Caicedo produced in his final Brighton year. Rice and Caicedo were essentially floor raisers. They made average defences look elite. Anderson and Tonali are ceiling raisers. They make good teams play more attractive, fluid football. Thank you, AI. There you go, Slath. Are you going to watch Scary Movie 6? I don't think I've watched Scary Movie 4 and 5. That was from Codes of Conduct. Regan says, yeah, people think I'm crazy, but I'm backing Slot till he's gone. And look, I get slandered by all my mates who support United, but the way I look at it is our worst season in 10 years is as good as United's. It's a fair point, Regan. You can't argue with that. Your worst season in 10, and you're basically close to United. I'm backing Slot as well. Like Savage says, I'm with you, Reagan. I'm backing Slot too. Give him a 5-year deal and stick to it. I haven't seen Project Hail Mary because it's in the cinema, and I'm not going to the cinema. Just refuse to go. It's meant to be very good though. Nil-nil after 8 minutes, but a good tempo to this game. Skelly over Norgard, says Mercer. Yeah, Norgard's really not played football, has he, at all? Are you secretly Data Dean, says Wan. God, no. I'm more on the eye test than Data. Data in football is a little bit like going out on the pull in your early 20s. You know, do I want to statistically analyse what a good partner is, or do I want to use the eye test? Goal! What a goal by Arsenal! What a goal by... I tell you what, that goal by Arsenal is exactly what Arsenal should be doing a lot more. They don't do this enough. I literally said last week, put Erling Haaland up front for Arsenal and he won't score goals. That is one of the best goals I've seen from Arsenal all season. Saka quickly putting a cross in and Gyökeres getting on the end of it. Moving the ball quickly. That's what it's all about. They don't do this. They just don't do it. This is what Arsenal can do. It's brilliant by Saka. I mean, he does take a lot of touches, to be fair, but the cross comes in. It's a quick cross. They're miles onside, and it's a lovely goal. You can't argue with that. Lovely goal by Arsenal. And it's an early goal as well. That might get their tails up a little bit, you know. If they could turn this game into a 3, dare I say, 4-0, things get interesting. I can't argue with that. That is a brilliant goal by Arsenal. Really is. They don't do it enough. They don't do that type of goal enough. There we are. Early goal as well. Baylor says, do you think the cinema is dead? I hope not. I love the cinema, but I'm just not going to the cinema on a Saturday night to watch a film. I'm too tired. I'd fall asleep. I used to go to the cinema quite a lot on a Saturday night, sometimes on a Friday night, and I'd fall asleep through so many films. I'd rather go to the cinema in the day. Sano Mines would be a good DM squad player, says Carlo. 100%. I've been talking about him a lot on the Bundesliga coverage. He's a very good player. He'd be a very good signing. Why do you refuse to go to the cinema? Also, I hope PSG beats Bayern on Friday since I hate Elise, says Toom. It's not that I don't refuse to go to the cinema. I'm just not going to the cinema tonight. I like the cinema, but I'm just not going tonight. Waffle Supremacy says, as long as Alonso explicitly says no to the Liverpool job, I'm certain Slot is gone over the summer. Interesting. Arsenal will park the bus now, says Malpat. Well, this is the thing. I don't think they can park the bus. I think they've got to go on the front foot. They didn't last week against Newcastle, but they have to. They've got to go for goals. Arteta's wearing the same gear again, mate. This guy goes on holiday with the same shorts, the same T-shirts, the same trainers, just a big line of them. Oh, God. Here we go. We've got a Pratt in the chat. Ian White says, not bad for a boring team, eh? I mean, how many months have you been waiting to put that in the chat? You score one good goal, and suddenly anybody who says you've been boring for months is wrong. Mate, look at the stats. I want you to go out and win 4 or 5-0. I want you to win the league. You know, you're talking to the wrong person. I want Arsenal to win the league. But you're not going to win it winning 1-0 every week. Got to move the ball quickly because Fulham do play with a lot of space. If I was the owner, I think Rio would be a good coach, says Baller Alert. Rio Ferdinand? Fucking hell. Can you imagine? Pigwave, thank you very much for your super chat. Appreciate that. Do you think they'll sit back now, says Yasin? I don't think they can. Why does Arteta wear the same outfit every game? I mentioned it in the last game, but I wasn't sure whether he did. But he does wear the same outfit. I wonder if it's the same trousers and jumper as well. I wonder if it's like a superstition thing, or has he got 20 pair of trousers and 20 half zips? Who's going to win the playoffs, says Lewis? I think Southampton. Lay says, I agree with you, Mark. As a City fan, Arteta needs goals as we can score goals, not only that they need more open play goals to get ready for next season. Here's Saka again. He did very well on that goal. I mean, look, Anthony Robinson's a good fullback and he absolutely skinned him, didn't he? Arsenal are not parking the bus at the moment, I must say. Mark, I'm going to Spain this summer. Are you there, says Harry. Am I in Spain this summer? I don't know. I don't know what my plans are this summer, actually. I was thinking I might go to the States, but I'm not. Ooh, shot there by Trossard. Well, I might go, but I'm not like the plan I was going for. I don't think I'm going to do it. It wasn't Robinson who got skinned. Oh, he must have been out of position then. Cambridge got promoted. Up the U's, says World Padlock. Coventry and Ipswich got promoted. Millwall, Southampton, Middlesbrough and Hull are in the playoffs. And Oxford got relegated with Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday. In League One, Lincoln and Cardiff come into the Championship, and Stockport, Bradford, Bolton and Stevenage will play in the playoffs. Exeter, Port Vale, Rotherham and Northampton Town got relegated. And in League Two, Salford didn't quite make promotion. They'll go into the playoffs with Notts County, Chesterfield and Grimsby. Bromley, MK Dons and Cambridge got promoted. Harrogate and Barrow got relegated. That's two teams, by the way. That makes it sound like Harrogate and Barrow. They're two separate teams. York City promoted. Rochdale, Carlisle, Boreham Wood, Scunthorpe, Southend and Forest Green Rovers are in the playoffs in the National League. So Arsenal leading 1-0 here. Yusuf says, what are your thoughts on Lewis Skelly starting, brave or smart? I think that Lewis Skelly is a very mobile player who is more than capable of doing that role. And as much as they brought Norgard in, I don't think he's played that many minutes for Arsenal, has he? So I don't think they really rate him. The league table needs updating. I don't think it does. I'd be very surprised if it's wrong. No, it's right. 76, yeah. If a lower league side offered you a job like National League, would you take it and step away from YouTube, says Baller? No. No. I wouldn't take a manager's job. God no. I'd get involved in running a club. I wouldn't take a manager's job. Not at this stage. No. I can see Arsenal fans trying to guilt trip up that Arsenal is not boring because they've played good football for 15 minutes. Well, look, credit to Arsenal. You know, it has been better this first few minutes. They're in the middle of two huge Champions League games. I think they should have done this last week against Newcastle, but, you know, better late than never. It's actually raining, isn't it? Is it raining here? No, it's not started raining here, but it's definitely raining in London. It's what you call a crap end to a day, because we've had lovely hot weather in the UK until about 5 o'clock, and then it started raining, which I think is a rubbish end. Jade says, hi Mark, can you unblock my main account? I don't know why I'm blocked. You won't have been blocked, Jade. And you can't do that anyway. You know when people say, can you get unblocked? It doesn't work like that. I can't just go magically you're unblocked. It doesn't work. If you've been blocked, I don't know why you would have been blocked. But I can't just go. Is your Sky messing up like mine? No. For the first time in bloody weeks, mine's actually working absolutely fine with no interruptions. That'll be the famous last words. 59% of you go with City winning the league. 40%, oh, it's gone 60% now. 40% going with Arsenal. I think if Arsenal get another goal, it starts to get interesting. 1-0, I just don't think it's enough. If Arsenal can score and win by 3 goals today, I think it starts to put a bit of pressure on Man City, because, you know, you're 6 points behind and they've got a +4 goal difference on you. Do you think Arteta will stay if they finish second, says Oscar? Well, you know what? I do find we've had this at United a couple of times with like Ten Hag and Amorim, and I'm sure it'll happen again, where people say Ten Hag out or Amorim out, and you go, well, who you getting? Well, that's not my job. And you go, what do you mean? Well, it's not my job to find a manager, but you're hypothetically sacking a manager, so who are we going for? Well, I don't know. He's just not good enough. I'm like, nah, you can't. How does your brain work? You can't do that. If I say sell Mainu, it's because I think there's someone better we can get. And I wouldn't say that, by the way. But if you want to sack a manager, you've got to have an alternative. And I think there's some Arsenal fans that if Arsenal finish second, they want to sack Arteta. And my question would be, for who? Who are you going to go for? Because you're going to sack a manager that's finished second and took you to the Champions League semi-final 2 years in a row. Fine, sack him because you think there's a manager that can take you to first. But what manager's out there that's going to take him to first? Look, if Luis Enrique wants the job, go and do it. Go and do it. You know, is Enrique not signing the contract at PSG because there might be a chance of the Arsenal job? Yeah, sack Arteta if he finishes second, if you can get Luis Enrique. Absolutely, go and do it. If Pep Guardiola leaves Man City and says, I've always wanted the Arsenal job, go and do it. But beyond those two, I don't know who you'd sack Arteta for to guarantee you winning the league next year. Arsenal fans want Fabregas. He's not a proven winner, is he? It might work, but it's... I wouldn't do that. Look at Raya, miles out of his goal there. Slide tackle in the Fulham half. Look, Fabregas could go there and win it, but it's risky, isn't it? Hi, Mark. Advice for a sexless marriage? Many thanks. God. Codes of conduct. Oh, my God. Get a good book. Get therapy. Definitely. I think that's good. Both ideas are very good. Someone in the chat says use the internet. Might not work. Look. If Arteta's going to leave or they're going to sack Arteta, I think you've got to go and get Luis Enrique. And if you can't do that, I think it's a risk. Atleti rested their whole first team and bench, says Juan. Yeah, we were talking about this on the 3 o'clock game though. Like, I don't really get the point of that conversation. Like, Arsenal are in a title race. They can't rest their whole team for Tuesday. Simeone's Athletic are fourth in the La Liga, 9 points ahead of fifth and 7 points behind third. They've literally got nothing to play for, so you would rest you. What I'm saying is it's circumstantial, isn't it? Bayern rested most of their players against Heidenheim because they've won the league. If Bayern were 3 points behind Dortmund, they wouldn't rest their players. So Arsenal can't rest their team because they're in a title race. Whereas Atleti can because they're not. Gunnar says, I didn't see the goal. How was it? It was a brilliant goal. Really good goal. Saka out on the wing, gets the cross in. Gyökeres tap in. That's how you feed Gyökeres. They need to do that more. With Brighton losing, do you think Villa will rest players tomorrow? You know what? I don't know whether Villa will rest players tomorrow. Forest can't rest players, I don't think. They might do, but if Villa win, Forest would be 3 points off relegation. Sorry, if Spurs win, Forest would be 3 points off relegation. It's weird. Villa's one's really weird because Villa could lose to Spurs and that would make Forest play a stronger team. But if Villa beat Spurs, Forest are 5 points from safety and might rest players. So in some way, for Villa, it might be better to rest players, drop points to Spurs and make Forest pick a stronger team against Chelsea. So I don't know. It's a tough one, that. I mean, Villa are in 5th place and they've got... If Chelsea win, they'd have 7 points on Chelsea. I think Villa have probably got Champions League football anyway, if I'm being honest. I'd be interested to see. They might rest players, they might not. But Villa's running's not great. Like, Villa could lose every single game. They've got Liverpool and Villa and Man City. And if they lose to Spurs, Burnley away, I mean... thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do share the video. And thanks for your super chats. Appreciate that. Corner to Arsenal here. Watch out for Gabriel. Although, I think Man United are better than them this year. Oh. Fulham got it away. Saliba, and they will clear it away. Sabari would be a good player for United from PSV, says Tim. I don't take much attention of the Eredivisie anymore. MUFC qualifies for Champions League, says Annika. I think we have. Some people say that we haven't officially done it yet, but come on. Good take by Leno. Surprised the ref didn't give a foul there. Saka shoots. Well, I'm really surprised he didn't give a foul there. Leno's not very happy. I'm stunned he hasn't given a foul here. That's very strange officiating. That is very strange. I mean, Gabriel is nowhere near the ball and clatters Leno, who's catching the ball. And the ref would have given that. He'd have given that. Madness. Definitely was a foul as far as I'm concerned. But nothing came of it, so I suppose it doesn't matter. MLS, a true gent says, Miles Lewis-Skelly has looked decent in the midfield today. And hey, says, different Arsenal's this, they're actually attacking. Yeah, look, this has actually not been a bad Arsenal performance. Much better from Arsenal, trying to score goals. I feel like I should tweet it because... you know, we're very critical of Arsenal when they park the bus, but they've actually been quite good today. Half an hour gone, there is a corner and headed away by Fulham. I don't think Arsenal have actually scored that many goals from corners since Christmas. Lovely ball into Saka from Rice. Cut back. Oh, what a save. It would have been another great goal from Arsenal. White. Yeah, brilliant ball by Rice into Saka. He puts the cross in. Oh, they've scored anyway. They are on fire here. Arsenal are on fire. Someone call 999 and ask for Fireman Sam because Arsenal are on fire here. There's a fire. Fire in London at the Emirates. They are playing really well. And I tell you what, even before the Calafiori goal, it was a brilliant ball by Rice into Saka. He cuts it back. Eze shoots. Great save by Leno. 2-0 to Arsenal. Half an hour in. They've got to go for goals. They've got to go for goals. This is the first ball. Here we go. Saka cuts it back. Eze, big save, comes back out. White, back into Trossard, puts the cross in. Offside. Miles offside. No way is that a goal. It's offside. Miles off. Didn't even know. Ola says I'm turning off. Good night. I wouldn't turn off yet, mate. He's miles off. Absolutely miles off. 3 of them were offside. It's a shame for Arsenal because that would have been a really good goal, but they're offside. All 3 of them. Fulham haven't turned up. But this is Fulham. They can lose to anyone and they can beat anyone. Jay Smith, we might hang this in the Louvre. All you lot saying we're bottle jobs, we're going to win the league. Yeah, it's back to 1-0, mate. World Padlock says, I thought United had qualified. We have qualified for the Champions League, but technically we haven't because we're 12 points ahead of Bournemouth with 4 games to go. So if we lose all 4 games and Bournemouth win all their games and beat our goal difference, we could finish below Bournemouth. So technically we could finish 6th, but it won't happen. It won't happen. 57% say City are going to win the league. 43% say Arsenal. I mean, that could change as the game goes on. Fulham have created nothing, by the way, and they are against an Arsenal side that don't concede chances. It's a lovely ball out wide, though. Here's Wilson. Good energy from Arsenal. I wonder whether Arsenal will be able to keep this energy up for 90 minutes, though, because there could be an element of let's go for it for the hour and then rest players. Prognosis says maybe you've stirred up Arsenal to get more attacking, Mark. I mean, I'm not going to take the credit for it because I think a lot of people have said it, but they do need to do it. Look, a win is a win, and Man City could still drop points, but I think you've got to go for goals in my experience as well. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. We're on the road to 1.5 million. Daily content on here. Loads coming up for you over the next few months. Champions League, Premier League, the crucial games, and then obviously the World Cup in June and July. And Daily Transfer Show is back for May, all the way through the summer. So get your football hit here on That's Football with the biggest and best football community. Everybody's welcome. Doesn't matter who you support. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We've only had half an hour here, and it's been a good game. Arsenal could have been 2-0 up. Fulham have done very little. But they are on the attack here. Robinson, and that's going to go, it's not even going to go for a corner. Saka's there, and he wins a goal kick. Sorry, I can just hear someone talking in the background. They're getting on my nerves. It's probably getting yours. I'm back. What film are you watching? Oh yeah, we were talking about this at 3 o'clock. So I found a classic film. I watched Apex last week on Netflix, which was quite good, but it reminded me of another film I watched in the early 90s. But it's called Deadly Pursuit. It's very good. Sidney Poitier and Tom Berenger are in it. Very good film, but you can't find it to stream anywhere. Well, I found it. So I'm going to watch that. What do you got? Fulham have had a little bit more possession here. Arsenal will be pissed off they didn't score the goal to make it 2-0. What's your favourite genre to watch after Arsenal games? Thriller, Peter. You need a bit of excitement. Are you looking for people to go on camera for That's Football, Mark, says Joe? I think we probably will be. I mean, I'm very excited about some of the stuff we're going to be announcing on That's Football over the next weeks and months. Very exciting stuff coming up. One thing that's mine as well. I mean, obviously... I can't say what it is, but it's a totally my project. I think it's going to be a really good piece of content. To add into what we've always done as well, the watch-alongs, the daily videos, the Premier League predictions with Robbie, that'll still be going on, but this is a brand new idea I've got, and there's a load of other stuff as well, so very excited. Silva is a good coach. Fulham play very good football, says Max. I think it's really interesting. You've got Glasner, Iriola, Silva, all available this summer, but is there enough jobs for them? I mean, I personally think that Iriola and Silva are very good coaches. I mean, look, Silva had a massive offer to go to Saudi. There's an attack here with Wilson, good defending by Calafiori, and Raya corner. But it just depends what jobs are available. I mean, in a different world, Silva would be a good Newcastle manager. Iriola would be very worthy of a chance at Chelsea and Man United, but Chelsea might go with Alonso, Man United would probably go with Carrick, Newcastle might keep Eddie Howe. So there might not be enough jobs out there. Corner to Fulham. And Arsenal will clear that away. Mr. El Shamari is very good on the stats. He says Cristiano Ronaldo has reached his 970th career goal and Al Nassr is closing in on their first Saudi Pro League title. It's a shame with Ronaldo, isn't it? He will get the 1,000 goals, but it's a shame he's not another 20 on from where he is, because to do it at the World Cup, the 1,000th goal would be great, wouldn't it? Shark says, Mark, if all football players had their hair like Cucurella, how many red cards would we see for hair pulling? I've said it. Like, if these little training programs that players get sent on their holidays with just to keep their fitness up, I'd also be sending them a list of haircuts, like John Bon Jovi, he's got long hair. And basically say, I want you to don't get a haircut, come back with long hair next season. F1's back this weekend, isn't it? What time's the actual race? I do like Formula One, but I don't. I've got to be honest. I don't really pay that much attention. I watch it more in the summer when there's no football on. But then we're gonna have the World Cup, aren't we? Prediction for United against Liverpool. United win. Deadly Pursuit's original name is Shoot to Kill. Back in the 80s and 90s, it was common for them to change the name in different countries. There we go. Has it slowed down a bit from Arsenal? Yeah, it's a shame, really, because I think if the second goal, and it was offside, if that second goal goes in, do Arsenal slow down or do they keep going? I think these last 5 minutes, Arsenal have slowed down a little bit, but they've got players on the pitch who can keep the tempo up. Lewis Skelly, Declan Rice, Eze. Trossard. What is he doing? Gets the shot off. Robert says, I came from the F1 to here. There we go. I would like to go to Miami. I know loads of people who've been and they say it's great. Ronaldo's beef with Ten Hag is the reason he didn't score much that season. We can blame Piers Morgan for him not hitting the record at the World Cup, says Baller. Here's Gyökeres, holds it up well. Into Saka, lovely play. What a goal. Returns the favour. That's a fantastic goal. Absolutely fantastic. It's almost like Arsenal have listened to what I was saying last weekend about feeding Gyökeres, because they feed a lovely cross into him, he scores a goal, and then they feed the ball into the channel quickly and he gets an assist. I mean, look, it's a daunting thing that Arsenal have figured out how to use Gyökeres, but I'm more applauding Gyökeres. They get the ball into him, Saka makes the run beyond him, he slips him in. You know, Saka and him have got a goal and an assist each. It's finally clicked. Finally, Arsenal seem to know how to use Gyökeres. But look at that. Look how he drifts into the channel here from Eze. Lovely ball. That's exactly where you've got to put it to Gyökeres. I was talking about this last week. Eze, early ball into the channel. Gyökeres holds it up into Saka. And a lovely finish into the bottom corner. I tell you what, this is getting interesting now. 2-0 at half-time. If they can turn that into 3 or 4, it gets interesting in the title race. It is about goals, I'm convinced. Good finish by Saka as well. I mean, that is a brilliant, brilliant finish. He can go either way. He goes into the bottom corner. Brilliant finish. Quality finish. Yeah, you've got to push for goals. You're 2-0 up. It's not 1-0. 1-0, you might get a little bit worried about losing the 3 points. At 2-0, you've got to press. You've got to push. Second half, Arsenal have got to push for more. Really have. Thank you very much for that. Thanks for your super chats, Baller and Gaz. So 3 minutes to go to half time. Why are they focusing in on 1989? FaZe says, can I ask Mark why you don't watch football games with the TV volume up? Because I get a copyright strike. I can't just put bloody... Also, I can't, easy answer. Move on. Fulham look useless. Fulham, Jake, remind me a little bit of when they played at Anfield, but I put that down to the fact that they hadn't played for 3 weeks. Don't really... Oh! Cut back. Cross back post. Oh, Arsenal nearly again. Yeah, I don't get what Fulham are about today. If they win, they're joint 6th with Brentford. So Fulham aren't on the beach. If Fulham win, they're joint 6th. So I don't get Fulham, but if you want to understand about Fulham, look at their last 3 games: loss, draw, win. That's Fulham, the quintessential Premier League side. They can deliver any result on any given game. But they ain't been at the races here. Arsenal have had 64% possession, 12 shots to Fulham's 2, 5 on target to Fulham's 0. You know, the scoreline of 2-0 doesn't flatter anybody at the moment. It's the right scoreline. Another shot just wide. Some United YouTuber saying Carrick is like Don Carlo. Don't see Carrick winning the Serie B first season with Reggiana, finishing second in Serie A next season with Parma levels, says JDC. What YouTuber or fan or dickhead would compare Carrick to Carlo Ancelotti? Mate, you may as well compare me to Ronaldo. I mean, there's just... that's wild. I mean, there's just no correlation at all. You better off, you can compare him to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 100%. Trossard. Ooh, could have won a penalty there. How long is it going to get added on at half time? 3 minutes. Our pass completion percentage says it all, says a true gent. Yeah, your pass completion percentage is... oh, God, it's not easy. 90%, which is very good. It's nearly 91%. Actually, it was just on the screen there. I could have read it there. Thank you very much. Look, if Fulham were mid-table with nothing to play for, I could understand this performance, but they could be in bucking Europe if they got a result here. Maybe Fulham don't want Europe. Will Arsenal win the league? As things stand in the league table, well, actually, we'll come back to that one. We'll talk about that at half time. Thanks everybody who's tuning in. Please do share the video. We've got nearly 11,000 watching, and make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Big week coming up on That's Football. We've got Aston Villa Spurs tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, which is a big game for the Champions League spots, but also the relegation spots with West Ham losing today. It's a big opportunity for Spurs. Tuesday night, Arsenal Atletico Madrid, second leg. Arsenal leading 1-0. Wednesday night, Bayern PSG. I mean, I won't sleep Tuesday night. I'm so excited about that. Thursday night, second leg Europa League semi-final. Forest 1-0 up against Villa. And then Friday night, I think we've got Frankfurt against Dortmund live on this channel. That's football. Live match footage of Frankfurt against Dortmund next Friday night. And then Saturday, Liverpool against Chelsea, Saturday lunchtime. So game. Busy. Who do you want to get promoted out of Millwall, Southampton, Middlesbrough or Hull? I don't want Hull to get promoted. I've seen Hull in the Premier League. I don't need to see it again. I've seen Middlesbrough in the Premier League. I don't really need 3 North East clubs in the Premier League, if I'm being honest. Nothing against the North East, but I don't need that. I'd like to see Millwall get promoted just for a... I mean, it's another London club, isn't it? But we might lose West Ham. So Millwall would be interesting. But I think it'll be Southampton. That's my... I think it will be Southampton. But I would like to see Millwall up. Who do you think is going to get relegated? I think Coventry and Ipswich are coming straight back down. I mean, they could learn... They can certainly learn something from Sunderland. If you want to stay up, go and buy some decent players. How many players did Sunderland sign? Here's Trossard, good feet. Little dink, Gyökeres, what a goal. This is getting interesting for the title. This is terrible for Manchester City. This is brilliant for Arsenal. They are 3-0 up at half time. This is incredible. Their goal difference is going through the roof here. If they can get 1, 2 more in the second half and make this 4 or 5-0, massive. They've still got to play Burnley as well. Arsenal are actually doing what they need to do. He didn't do it last week. He played pragmatic, but they're scoring goals. This is big. Very, very big. Gyökeres, man of the match performance, 2 goals and an assist. Brilliant play by Trossard. Arsenal might win this league. Arsenal might win this league. Well, look, you know, I still think to cancel out the 1-0 last week, then 5 would be brilliant. If they can win this 5-0, add it to last week, that's an average of 3-0, isn't it, across 2 games? Got to keep going. Got to keep going. They're on a +4 at the moment, but obviously City have got 2 games in hand. So even +4 is not amazing. Goal difference of 41, plays 37. Half time. Well, the poll is there for you to vote in. Who is winning this league? 54% say City, 46% say Arsenal. The interesting thing is, before the game started, it was 60% City and 40% Arsenal. So that's coming down based on the goals. Solar says, thoughts on the game so far? Look, I was really critical of Arsenal last week. Really critical because I felt they got 1 goal against the poor Newcastle side and they sat back and took the points. And having seen United lose to City on goal difference, it's the worst way to lose a league. And I said, if Arsenal just grind out 1-0s, there's a very big chance City will outscore them and they won't win the league. Today, in that 45 minutes, I've actually seen the desire to go and get goals. So I applaud it. I want Arsenal to win the league. I don't want City to win the league. I prefer Arsenal over City. And obviously, I predicted Arsenal would win the league. But that's a brilliant half of football. Absolutely brilliant half of football. To get 3 goals in 45 minutes against Fulham, brilliant. But they need to keep it going. Look, Fulham hadn't had a shot on goal. Not had a shot on target. 63% possession. 6 shots on target. So, brilliant, brilliant half by Arsenal. They need to go and get at least 1 more. At least 1 more. Because when you look at the league table now, that's how it looks. So the goal difference is +41 for Arsenal. I think that's right. Yeah, +41 for Arsenal, +37 for Man City. So that means that they're 4 goals ahead. But Man City have got 2 games in hand. So if City won one of those games 3-0 and the other one 2-0, they would go ahead because that's 5 on top. So they'd be +42 and Arsenal would be +41. So that's what I mean. 4 goal difference is decent, but it's still gettable for City across 2 games. They've only got to win both games 2-0 just to get back level. So Arsenal, when you're 3-0 up against Fulham at half time, foot to the pedal, you go for more. You go for more. Because Arsenal's running, if they play like this, if they keep playing like this, West Ham next week, they could score goals there. Burnley, they could score a lot of goals against Burnley at the Emirates. I mean, that Burnley game, I've spoken to a couple of Arsenal fans and they're going, you know, we need to go and win that 6-0. So it's looking good. You know what? It can change. And I said this last week, gave them a lot of stick for playing negative, but that's exactly what you've got to do. You've got to go and score goals because that puts the pressure on City. Because not only do City now need to win, City now need to score goals as well. And Arsenal could take that goal difference completely away from City. And as we know, City have got to play Everton away, Brentford at home, Palace at home, Chelsea away, Bournemouth away, and Villa at home. Look, they could smash Villa. If Villa have won the Europa League, they could smash Villa. They could smash Palace, but they're quite good defensively. This is a real opportunity for Arsenal. A real opportunity. Purple Burglar Alarm says, if you want a wingman, Fulham has got your back. Thank you very much for your super chat. Why haven't they been playing like this before, says Maruk. Look, why they haven't been playing it like this before is a good point, but at least they're doing it now. Arteta can't afford to sit back in the second half. Fulham have been extremely open so far, and City have got games like Bournemouth away where they'll probably take a 1-goal win, says DGP. Are we entertaining you, Mark, says Huggy? Definitely. I mean, I think a lot of people in the chat are very angry, if we're being honest, because they don't want Arsenal to win the league. But, you know, I don't want to watch Arsenal grind 1-0s out and then lose the bloody league on goal difference. I love the performance of Gyökeres and Saka in that half. And big shout out to Eze as well, because on the second goal, he puts the ball quickly. You got to, with Gyökeres, you got to put the ball in the box, or you got to put it in the channel, and you got to do it quick. There's no point taking your time to put the cross in. 2 quick crosses, 2 goals. 1 ball, quick ball into the channel, an assist. That's how you play for Gyökeres. And the funny thing is, people want to call Gyökeres a flop. I said last summer I'd love him at Man United, and if Arsenal get him, fair play. I've backed Gyökeres all season, and people have gone, crap, looks like he's running around in a pair of jeans. I don't think he's had a bad season at all. I don't know how many goals he scored in the Premier League for a debut season, but that performance from him today, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You can't deal with him when you play to his strengths, but they haven't played to his strengths. And a couple of weeks ago, Arteta was putting Havertz up front and benching Gyökeres, and I think that's an admission of defeat. You know, play to the player's strength. And also, if you play to Gyökeres' strength, you're a more attractive side and you'll score more goals. So, you know, Arteta has to take the criticism for that. Pragmatic football, Havertz back up front. Today, he's got to take the credit for it. Quick football, quick ball into the box, quick ball into the channels. And look what happens. True Gent says, feed me more. Hope you're having a nice day, says Marge. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Solar Panel says, thoughts on the game so far. Look, 3-0 at half-time. You know, if you don't like Arsenal, you're not going to be enjoying it. But 3-0 at half-time, very good. Very good. They've played very, very well. They deserve the lead. And they're playing the game in the right way. And they're certainly pushing for goals, and I think that there is a very big chance that you know, they can go out and get more goals in this second half. And if look, I personally think 4-0 is a great result. They only need 1 more. If they can get 2 more, dreamland. If they get 3 more, you know, if they get 3 more with Burnley to come at home, I'd basically say if they beat West Ham and they beat Palace, they'll win the league. And not a lot of people were saying that before. So Arsenal put themselves in a very good position. Very good position. It's not over yet, but they put themselves in a very, very, very strong position here at half-time. Gyökeres has got 21 goals so far, says Gremlin. The boys are buzzing. Goldbridge, says Jesus. Villa. And Arsenal will win the league, says Obi. It's confirmed that Pep will be leaving in the summer, replaced by Enzo Maresco, says Sim. Feed the Gyökeres and he'll score, says Shinobi. And if you want a wingman, Fulham has got your back, says Bill. I think I've done that one. I don't think it's been confirmed that Pep's going yet. There's been a few rumours going out over the last couple of weeks, but last 24 hours, to be fair. But yeah, I think he probably will leave. Sorry, I've just been just trying to get this live chat back working again. Okay, we're back. Mark, are you still doing Bundesliga watch-alongs next year? My favourite German club, Schalke, are about to be promoted back to the Bundesliga. Would love a Dortmund Schalke watch-along next season, says Ian Draughton. Look, it's not for me to announce that. It's been a brilliant partnership, and I've absolutely loved it. And I know the Bundesliga have been, you know, over the moon with the relationship. So, look, I can't confirm anything, but I'm hopeful that we will be able to do it again next year because it's been really, really enjoyable. And yeah. Hay says, would be a bad timing to leave, but I guess he's still got Carabao Cup back and might win FA if he'll leave the same way as Clark. Look, you know what? If you'd said to me last night Pep Guardiola was going to leave Man City, I would say, well, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, probably going to win the Premier League. If Arsenal win this game by 3 goals or more, I would say he could be leaving without winning the Premier League. And I think that's a mistake. Look, his mindset might be 1 more year and I'm gone when he said it last year. But I think Man City will win the league next year. I said it about a month ago. Man City will win the league next year. he might go on holiday and go, I fancy another year. If Pep doesn't win the league again with Man City, in my mind, he's not rebuilt a team and won the league. I know he has won the league a lot and he's changed things, but this team he's building is like Sir Alex. This is a completely rebuild team, in my opinion. Like the changes in goal, the back four, the midfield, the attack. This is a mass change of a team. And it's the first time I've seen Pep Guardiola build a new team. And if he wins the league this year, I'll be the first person to say that's the first time I've seen Pep do that. And he's always been accused of somebody that doesn't rebuild teams. I think it'd be a shame for him to walk away if they don't win the league. Because if he stays one more year, I think they'll win it. But if he's decided he wants to go, he's going to go, isn't he? And also, Man City can still win the league. You know, we are saying, oh, Arsenal are 3-0 up. But like 45 minutes ago, we were all saying Man City are going to win the league. So there's still time. GT says City will win easy, you clown. Yeah, mate, it's not looking so good at the moment, is it? 6 points behind. All right, you got 2 games in hand. Goal difference is +4. Arsenal got to play Burnley at home. Man City haven't really got an easy game left. Where are they? You know, I think Arsenal are doing a good job of putting a bit of pressure on them at the moment, and that's all you can ask for. Gunners Forever says, I think, to be fair, Lewis Skelly should have played more in midfield this season. Thank you very much for your super chat, pal. 12,000 watching. Absolute legends. Please do share the video and make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Look, there's a lot of people angry in the chat at the moment because I think this is really unexpected. I think people thought if Arsenal were going to win, it was going to be 1-0 and the goal difference was still going to be really easy for Man City. 3-0 at half-time. That goal difference isn't now easy for Man City. And Arsenal are doing something that they really haven't done since before Christmas. They're actually scoring goals and, you know, moving the ball quickly. So I think there'll be a lot of people. Look, I know a lot of United fans that don't want Arsenal to win the league. I disagree. I want Arsenal to win the league. Man City are a bigger rival in my mind, and they're a City rival. And the more titles Pep wins, the closer he gets to being in the Sir Alex Ferguson argument. And I don't think he should be anywhere near it. So I want Arsenal to win the league. And then if Pep retires, Sir Alex Ferguson remains the best Premier League manager there's ever been. So I don't want Man City to win the league. Also, I'm not really comfortable with Man City winning titles when they've got this big court case over them as well. So I don't want City to win the league. City have played the best football this season. What Pep's doing is great, and they've got some fantastic players. But I want Arsenal to win the league over City. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. A lot of United fans don't. And, you know, that's fine. Fulham could still score in the second half. Yeah. Look, you know what? The weird thing about Fulham is they're playing like a team on the beach. And they are in 10th place. But look, if they win, they're 6th. And 6th could be Champions League football. Because look at Villa. Villa are 5th. And if Villa win the Europa League and finish 5th, 6th is in the Champions League. So if Fulham had been winning today, they could be on the verge of Champions League football. So Fulham, you know, it's a bad day at the office for Fulham. But what if Fulham come back? What if Fulham get a goal? You know, what if Fulham get 2 goals? I don't think they will. I think Arsenal's defence has been on lockdown. But what they have got to do in this second half is go and score again and again and again. And it could be a long 45 minutes for Fulham. Could be. Jordan says, what are Fulham doing? It's a strange performance from Fulham, I've got to admit. Obi says, the best year of my life if Arsenal win the league and Tottenham get relegated. Yeah, big game tomorrow night. We'll be live on here for Villa against Spurs. Spurs have got an opportunity tomorrow. If they can win, they put West Ham in the bottom 3. Why that guy in the cap looked like Jody Morris. I thought he was a Chelsea fan. If City beat Everton, then they're going to win the league, says some guy. Yeah, but there's no logic to that, is it? That's just your guess. They've still got to play Bournemouth. They've still got to play Brentford. Goal difference. This league title is going to be about goal difference. It's not just about winning anymore. I said this last week. If you think it's just about winning, it's not about winning. It's about scoring goals as well. That's what it's about. Absolutely. And Ola says Goldbridge the flip-flopper. Not a flip-flopper, mate. I was furious with Arsenal last week because they parked the bus and won 1-0. I said, if you want to win this league title, you need to go and score goals. Today, they've gone and scored goals, and I'll applaud it. If they'd sat back at 1-0 and parked the bus, I'd say, what the fuck are you doing? But they've gone for it, and, you know, fair play to that. And I think they can get more. Madueke's coming on at half-time. I think this is just pure fresh legs. I think Saka, well, I hope it bloody is. Saka off at half-time. I mean, I hope that's not an injury. But Madueke on at half-time, so hopefully that's not injury. But Madueke, fresh legs, more direct, could be more in it. Liam says, I'm on holiday, have missed the first half. How are we playing? Good goals. Yeah, all 3 good goals. No corners, all from open play. And a goal ruled out for offside as well. So, you know, I think 3-0. I don't know this for sure, but I would imagine the XG probably bears it out as well, if you care about that. Data Dean, can we get that? Yes, we can, Mark. Thank you very much. So at half-time, the XG actually says that Arsenal are 2.39 XG against Fulham's 0.04. Yeah, so 62% possession, 2.39 XG to Fulham's 0.04. 14 shots, 6 on target. Fulham, 2 shots, none on target. Thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, so, yeah, I think it's all borne out. I think Liam Delap should go back to Ipswich. I think Chelsea would happily loan him back. I don't know whether it will happen. Liam says, solid, thank you. Love from Tenerife. Enjoy it, mate. I think I'm very jealous of that. Enjoy. So, can Arsenal score a few more? That's the second half plan. Somebody in the chat there said Saka was playing so well it doesn't make any sense. I don't really know. Atletico Madrid on Tuesday could have a knock. I don't know. I imagine it might just be managed minutes, to be honest. And you're 3-0 up at half time. You don't need to take any risks, and you trust Madueke to go out there and get you another goal. So I'd imagine it's just managed minutes. Marius says, do you think Odegaard should be sold? Mythical says he is coming back from injury. He does have a lot of injury problems. I don't think there is an injury, though. Do I think Odegaard should be sold? No, I just think he should move the ball a bit quicker. Oh, Jimenez hit a decent shot there. Had Raya diving, but it goes over the bar. Oh, I've done the timer in the first half. I'm a prat. I'm a prat. We're at 47 and 11. One, two, three, 4, 5. There we go. Noodles says, yeah, I've got to manage Saka having come back from an injury. Flying Dutchman says, yes, Man United are back in the Champions League finally. All the best to Arsenal. What's your views on the US World Cup? I think it's going to be the worst on record. 48 teams, huge distances between stadiums, hot weather, storms, and ICE agents. Look, I'm very excited about it. I thought World Cup 94 was brilliant. Fulham nearly got a goal back there because Saliba hooked across very close to his goal, but it goes for a corner. I'm very excited about the World Cup. US 94 was amazing. And I'm quite excited about the late night games in the summer. I think there was going to be a really good vibe to it. Are they going to get another corner here? Yes, Fulham are going to get another corner. It is a big World Cup, though, definitely. And there might be... I think the worst thing they can do is make every game long. You know, the great thing about football is the flow of the game. I didn't like in the Club World Cup how every player came out to like a FC26 card. Don't need any of that shit. Don't need every half time being like half an hour instead of 15 minutes. Don't need the kickoff time being 11 o'clock, but they don't kick off till 11:15 like the NFL. So I think those are the things that will irritate me if they do all that. But I am excited about it. Thank you very much for your super chat, Ray. Better start from Fulham in the first 5 minutes. I mean, it couldn't be any worse. Offside, Rice. But ref says play on. Robinson, look at Anthony Robinson bombing on there. Jordan says this game is suspect. What? Because Arsenal are winning. That's a lovely ball into Madueke. Stands him up. He's got options. And it's a bad pass. But he gets it into Eze. And good defending by Bassi. Apparently Fulham had a random virus midweek, says Alex. I did not know that. William says the Emirates has been electric this evening. But, you know, look at Bayern against PSG in Paris, an electric stadium. If you entertain your fans, they will bring the atmosphere. If you bore them, they won't. I always say this at Old Trafford, right? You know, it's an amazing stadium. If you've ever been there, you walk out, you feel it, right? And before the game, I would say most crowds, when the game kicks off, it's simmering. You know, it's excited, it's simmering. If you play good football, you'll take that simmering crowd to boiling point. If you play crap football, it will go cold. And get rid of pragmatic football, basically. Lasagna is lovely. I haven't had one in ages. Oh, it is raining now. Oh, it's raining. Barbecues around the UK being ruined. It's funny actually, but it's not funny. I took the dog out for a walk at about 2:30 and really hot, about 20 degrees. And I walked past the beer garden and loads of people were sat there. And you could tell they were settling in for the day. And I thought, you know what? You've not checked the weather. By 6 o'clock, it's going to be pissing it down with rain. Champions League predictions for both games. I think Arsenal will make it. And I think the other game is, I'll say Bayern, but it's so unpredictable. PSG are a fantastic side. What's your favourite snack, says Jade? Crisps, I think. Lovely ball. Little dink. Fulham head it away. Arsenal will like this, though, because the tempo is still really high. Thank you very much. Are you going to go on holiday somewhere hot this year? I don't know. I haven't booked anything yet. Obviously, I went to New York, which I don't talk about, last December. But yeah, hopefully. Hans says Arsenal need more than 6 goals. Erling Haaland can score 5 on his own. Yeah, but you know what? Even after today, Arsenal have got the easiest game to score loads of goals in. They've got Burnley at home. Man City don't really have anybody that you'd expect them to smash. Doesn't mean they can't smash teams, but Everton away, Bournemouth away, Palace and Villa and Brentford at home. They're not necessarily teams that you go, yeah, they're going to smash them. They might, but doesn't mean they can't. I mean, God, they could do, but... City only won by 1 goal against Burnley, says Lex. Yeah, but that was at Burnley, wasn't it? And that was surprising. This is at the Emirates. So Arsenal will go for goals in that. Burnley will park the bus, though. You're right. At least Fulham have opened up a little bit. I mean, look, I wouldn't say Arsenal are going to batter Burnley 6-0 because Burnley haven't even got their manager. So I would imagine Burnley will park the bus. And also, Arsenal have got West Ham next week, which it's all right talking about goal difference, but what if one team slips? My theory is that there will be drop points by Arsenal against West Ham or Man City against Everton and Brentford. I might be wrong, they might win them all, but I just have a feeling. But I think like if either Arsenal or City drop points in the next few games, then you can't expect to win the league. I think you've got to try and you've got to win every game. Are you going to do the Chelsea game on Monday afternoon? Says Danny. No, because I've got Baller League on Monday. Look, Gyökeres. Oh, good save by Leno. Onside as well. That was his hat-trick. I'm sure he'll still get a hat-trick, but that was a lovely goal. Lovely bit of play. And Leno made the save. Jamrock says Pogba played today. Charity game or actual football? Look, West Ham will give it everything against Arsenal. Of course they will, but have they got the quality? The amount of people in the chat saying this is match fixing. I mean... Mr. El Shamari says, Fulham have to be the most useless club in the Premier League. What ambitions do they even have? Always mediocre and won't ever win a trophy in their history. It's embarrassing. A lot of people not very happy. Investigate Fulham, says some guy. Leno's helping Arsenal, says Adrian. Utopia says, I bet he takes Gyökeres off after an hour. Well, he might have to start taking some players off just to manage minutes ahead of Tuesday night, because Tuesday's going to come very, very quickly, isn't it? I know. If Leno's match fixing, why did he just make that save? Free kick, Arsenal. Fulham's owner needs the money to fund... something, says Leeds. I don't know what that is. I know a place where the sun hits the sky. AEW, it's a wrestling company. Fulham's owner needs the money to fund a wrestling company, apparently. Hey, look at the poll. It started off, who's going to win the league? 60% City and 40% Arsenal. It's now 55% Arsenal and 45% City. That is an incredible turnaround, isn't it? Goals lead 2 titles. Opinions on the Scottish title race. I've never thought Hearts would win it as much as I'd like them to win it. I've never thought they would. I just feel it. Look, nobody has won the Scottish Premier Division outside of Celtic and Rangers since 1984. That's 42 years. So excuse me for thinking Hearts won't do it. I'd like them to do it, but I don't think they will. Ankit says it would be good to see City lose the title on goal difference. Well, I'd prefer Man United doing that to them because they did it to us, but yeah, it would. The dangerous thing is Arsenal can only do what they're doing, score goals. Man City chasing goals could be scary. Who are Gold Devils playing on Monday? It's a weird one with Baller League because it's meant to be every Monday, but so the final can be on the next bank holiday, which is the end of May. It wouldn't have worked out if we carried on doing it every Monday, so they're doing a Friday fixture this week as well. So we've got Community FC on Monday. SDS, I think we've got on Friday. I think we've got SDS on Friday. I don't know whether it's been confirmed yet, but yeah. I mean, we need to win every game. We're like Arsenal. We need to win every game and score loads of goals. But I think for a debut season, it's been, with our backs up against the wall, we've produced the result of the tournament, haven't we? We beat the best team. So, who do you think Mark, do you think we can win the treble next season, says Tamil. Who's we? If you're talking about Man United, you're talking out your arse. Mark, City or West Brom to win the league, says Trader. West Brom. Well, if I had to choose, yeah, definitely West Brom. Definitely. Is it possible for Gold Devils to still get top 4? I mean, I'd like to think it is. I don't actually know reality-wise on who. I don't know who the remaining fixtures are. Lovely cross in by Fulham, cleared away. So we are 4th place on 13, and we're on 9. So 4 points off. Do you think the Aguero was definitely rigged? No, I think what happened is, some of you might not be old enough to remember when Man United lost the title on goal difference. We beat Sunderland in Sunderland, and Man City were playing QPR. And everyone thought Man City will beat QPR really easily. But QPR could go down. QPR were in a relegation race. So at the Etihad, they're winning 2-1 with 10 men going into stoppage time. And if City draw, United still win the league. So you're watching it as a United fan going, City need to score 2 goals in whatever minutes, right? So you're thinking, bloody hell, this miracle might happen. But what happens is, 2 minutes into stoppage time, Dzeko scores. QPR don't know whether they're safe or not. And I think Mark Hughes was the manager of QPR. And he said to the players, it's fine, we're safe. And they just switched off. They stopped playing. They switched off. They had a kick-off and they booted it straight to City. And they switched off. So if QPR hadn't been safe, there's no way that would have happened. But they switched off. When Dzeko scored, they switched off. You could see it. They literally had been playing for their lives and they switched off. Gyökeres off after an hour. Whoever said that? You're spot on. Tamil says, in your 20s, have you ever grown long hair? I've not had long hair at the back since I was about 10. Joey Barton got sent off fast. I knew something was off, says Lee. Yeah, ex-Man City as well. King 7th says, could you make a starting 11 out of the current bottom 3? That could make mid-table. I mean, that sounds like the most boring thing to do in the world. Can somebody help him out? I've got no interest in that at all. I'll give you some. In the bottom 3, João Gomez would be in there, I suppose. Andre's not bad at Wolves either. Obviously, it's Spurs in the bottom 3 at the moment, so you could take their fullbacks, Porro, Udogie or Spence. I suppose Van der Ven would have to go in, wouldn't he? Yeah, I'm bored already. I'm bored already. Sorry. Do you think do you think we'll be able to push for top 3 again next season? Says Boris Johnson. Mate, I can't answer this question. I'm being asked really strange questions. I don't know. No idea. I don't know who the manager is. Don't know who we're signing. Don't know who everyone else is signing. But I think United have got to be in the top 4 next season. We've got to be back in the Champions League next season. So Jesus is on for Gyökeres. I still think Arsenal should be pushing for another goal here. 20 minutes. 25 minutes left. 20 minutes gone. I wouldn't put any Burnley players in. I'd be reluctant to put many Wolves players in either. As I said, probably João Gomez and Andre. So the rest would have to be a Spurs team. Thank you. Do I think Arsenal will win the Champions League? I hope not. I want them to win the Premier League. I don't want them to win the Champions League. I want Bayern or PSG to win it. Hey, it's Dan says, remember goal difference isn't just scored, it's conceded. And with fixtures remaining, I think City will concede more than Arsenal. Well, hey, it's Dan. Yes and no. I mean, I think everybody knows that goal difference is +3 if you win 3-0 and +3 if you win 5-2. So your goal difference is your difference between conceded and scored. Jesus. Oh, what the hell is he? Oh, he's offside anyway. He's offside. Look, I want PSG or Bayern to win it, and I think they've played brilliant football. But in a one-off game, in a final, whether it's Arsenal or Atletico Madrid, if they defend well and score a corner, and you know, Bayern or PSG can't score, you know, you've always got a chance, haven't you? I'd still say 3-0 is a good scoreline for Arsenal, but I'd want minimum 4 just to give you that little bit more. Because at the moment, City have got 2 games in hand and the goal difference is 4. So City can still get that back in their favour. I still think City could have a slip-up, says Danny. But look, they could. Definitely could. What a day. My team Bromley won the League 2 today as well, says the BDA. Little bit of trivia, well not trivia, little interesting fact. I was at Wembley for the playoff final in the National League when Bromley got promoted to League 2, beating Solihull Moors on penalties. And Bromley had about 30,000 fans there. It was amazing. Who's harder to play against, Everton or Fulham? Everton would be a better organised defensive side. I mean, statistically, Everton have conceded 41 goals this season and Fulham have conceded 49. Bournemouth concede a lot of goals though, 52. Look, you can't be moody about winning 3-0. But it was 3-0 at half time. I still think I'd be like, come on. He does look a little bit pissed off, Arteta, because I think, and that's a good thing, because I think he is thinking, look, I want one more goal here. And I'd be, you know, I think the same. I think, you know, 3-0 is great, but come on, one more goal makes it better. Fulham on the ball, though. Yeah, there is an 8 o'clock show on the United Stand in an hour. Free kick to Fulham. I think I'm gonna treat myself to a glass of red tonight. Bank holiday weekend. Well, look, as I say, Arsenal would love another goal, but whilst the goal back for Fulham with 20 minutes to go probably doesn't spark concerns about a loss, it does bring that valuable goal difference down. Let's see what they can do on this. You've got Jimenez and Carney on it. And it's straight into the wall, and it's off the wall, and it's a corner. Corner to Fulham. 20 minutes to go. It's mad, isn't it? You know, we're watching this title race now, and it really is about the scoreline. It's not really about the 3 points. It's about, do Arsenal come out with a +3, +4, +2? God, how long does it take to take a fucking corner as well? This needs to change in the Prem. Cleared away. Oh, great save. Well, straight at Ray. I nearly said great save. It's a save. It's a chance for Fulham, and it was straight at the keeper. Anywhere in the bottom corners, and this is a goal. No way Rayo was going to save that unless it was straight at him. What's Fulham's running? Well, they're going to put themselves in 10th place tonight, aren't they? 3 points off 6th. It's very congested there, though. I mean, Brentford's running's quite difficult, so it doesn't necessarily mean that Fulham can't go and win 2 or 3 games and put themselves into Europe still. Their running's quite good. They've got Bournemouth at home, Wolves away, and Newcastle at home. So, look, if they take 6 points from their next 2 games, Fulham have got a chance, I think, of European football. Whether they want it or not, I do question. I do question whether it's help or a hindrance, really, because having the squad to do it is very difficult. What the hell has happened to the stream? Oh, did we lose? Did we go? Did we lose the stream for a little bit or something? It's doing it again, is it? Piece of shit. Did the stream drop out for a bit? No. Okay. I just wondered. It said there was only 2,000 watching, but it's actually 10,000. Thank you, everybody. What happens if Arsenal becomes what you fear with Man City, says JBS? No. Look, I'm not going to jinx Arsenal, but I think next season it would be very difficult for them to do this again. And respect to them if they do. But what I mean by that is, obviously, as a United fan, and Man City fans will know this, Liverpool fans will know this, Chelsea fans will know this, winning the league is a great thing. Retaining it is even harder. And the reason for that is, if you think about if Arsenal win this league, the amount of effort it's put in across a 9-month period to go and do it again, there's normally a little bit of drop off. So I wouldn't expect Arsenal to go and dominate for the next few years. On the flip side, though, is once you've done it, you feel you can do it again. It depends. It also depends on no Isak for Liverpool tomorrow. Groin strain and will not be in the squad. No Salah, no Ikatike, no Isak. They are going to get beat tomorrow. They're going to get absolutely smacked up tomorrow, aren't they? I'm looking forward to this. Where the sun hits the sky. You've got to say as well, you've got to say what a bad signing Isak's been for Liverpool. I mean, I know the injury he had when he came in. Then he had the one where he scored the goal against Newcastle. Now it's another one. I mean, he's just broken, isn't he? I don't even know who they'll play as the front three. Plume says Rio, Gakpo, and who else? I don't know. But it should be, not only should it be a win, it should be quite a comfortable win, but we'll see. Who's your dark horse for next season's title race, says Recon Guy. Oh, God. Chelsea? Is that a silly shout? If Chelsea get a decent coach in and buy 2 or 3 experienced players and retain what they've got, Chelsea? It's a big if, but somebody said dark horse. I don't think it's going to be Liverpool. I think it's going to get worse under Slot. I don't think it's going to be United. I don't think we're ready. I think Arsenal and Man City will be there or thereabouts. But, yeah, I'd say Chelsea. Bruno breaking the assist record tomorrow, says Pengas. How many does he need? 2. 1 to equal it and 1 to beat it. Be nice to do it against Liverpool. Do you rate Gabriel Heinz's years at Man United positively? I liked Heinz at Man United. I think he just tarnished it a little bit by trying to move to Liverpool. But I didn't mind Heinz at Man United. I thought he was an all right player. Who's quicker? You down a slide or Chelsea down the table, says Rob. Well, I didn't even fit down the bloody slide. Downman's on here. They need a goal, Arsenal. They need a goal in the next 10 minutes just to make it a little bit better. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Madueke, headed away. I could... Oh, yeah, I forgot about Villa. I could see Villa, you know. Injuries messed them up. Yeah, but the problem Villa will have next season is the problem Newcastle had this year, isn't it? It's the Champions League and the Premier League, and it's the squad to do it. It's one thing doing it in the Europa League, which is slightly easier. Will Arsenal get Alvarez and wingers for Trossard and Martinelli? Well, this is what I mean. I think Arsenal next season, you know, it also depends what they do in the market. Are we going to talk about Spurs, Mark, says Rabas? We'll talk about Spurs tomorrow when we do the watch-along. 7 o'clock. Corner! Bar! Calafiori can't believe it. He's had a goal offside and now he's hit the Denver. And that fourth all-important goal for Arsenal still proves elusive. Look, it's been well documented for a long time that Arsenal are the favourites to get Alvarez. People, oh my God, how that doesn't go in is incredible. Calafiori head hits the top of Leno's head and goes onto the bar. I mean, it's a great save. He just doesn't know anything about it. Bit lucky there. Yeah, but Alvarez has sort of been well known to be a favourite to go to Arsenal for about 6 months. But some people in Spain just won't have it. They're like, he's going to Barcelona, he's going to Barcelona. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't rule that out, but I'm sure he'd probably prefer to go to Barcelona than come back to the Prem. But where do they get the money from? Paul says, greetings from Australia. I can't wait for the World Cup. I'm not laughing, I'm coughing. %55% say Arsenal are going to win the league. Dowman's laces came undone there, and it was, you know, he's so young. I almost thought Arteta might come on and tie them for him. So that's what happens in Seb's football. If their laces get done, you have to come on and run on and do them. Look, it's good to see Lewis Skelly having a good game because I think he looked like a really talented player, and then, you know, obviously he's had a bit of criticism and that, but I don't think those sort of things go overnight. Gabriel might be coming off a mascara here. Yeah, I think it's a little bit disappointing for Arsenal not to get another one. But I think if you'd said 3-0 at the start of the game, you'd have been ecstatic with that. But 3-0 at half-time, not scoring in the second half is a little bit disappointing. But look, it leaves the door ajar to City a little bit, in the sense that the goal difference is 4 and City have got 2 games in hand. So they'll be a lot happier than that. I think that one more goal just makes a big difference psychologically. But it's still good for Arsenal. I mean, I don't think many people would have thought Arsenal were going to win 3-0. But if they could get another one, I think it takes a good result to a great result. Weem says, are GCSEs more important or Arsenal right now? Well, you know, ultimately, you've got a video recorder, haven't you? Should be doing your studies. Do you think an Asian or African team will win the World Cup, says JBS? Whatever. I mean, I can't say they won't ever win it. Do I think we're close to it happening? No. look, the way I put it is, if the best Asian countries just combined and had an Asian All-Stars and an African All-Stars, would they win the World Cup? Would they have a squad to win the World Cup? And I don't know that they would, because I still think when you look at France and England and Portugal, their squads are incredible. So I think that the big problem you've got if you're Japan or Morocco or South Korea or Ghana is that you'll have a few good players, but they very rarely have a great starting 11, let alone a squad. And you need a squad. You need a squad. Good run by Dowman, shoots it wide. And I think that's the reason it's hard to see an African team or an Asian team winning the World Cup, because France have basically got 2 first teams. So it's hard. Doesn't mean they're not good teams. It's just very hard. They don't have the volume of players, and until they've got that, I think they'll struggle. Somebody said, but isn't France the best of Africa anyway? Well, if you look at the France 98 team, how many of them were from African countries? I'd like to see an African team doing well in the World Cup, though. I mean, I always remember that group of death that had the Ivory Coast in it in, was it 2006? And then they didn't do very well. But the reason they didn't do well is they had people like the Tourés and Drogba and Kalou, but they didn't have much beyond that. And you need a team. That's why I think Norway are going to be very interesting, because Norway have got some fantastic players, but have they got a team? Are you going to do watch-alongs for all the World Cup games, says Mr. Wazza? I mean, no. I mean, there's some right shit in there. And some of it's at 5 o'clock. So, no, we won't do every game, but we'll do a lot. Said says, do you think Arsenal will score another? I think they need to, but Fulham, in fairness, will probably be quite happy with the second half and the fact that they've kept it to 0-0. A lot of the Fulham fans have gone. If you look at the Fulham end, look, they've had enough. Beat the traffic. Sergio says, what do you mean? Curacao versus Uzbekistan will be cinema. What I'll probably do is, I mean, I'm not going to do the shit games, but what I'll probably do is a lot of the games I'll do just to get to see every team in the first couple of weeks. And then I'll start picking and choosing from there. Chloe says, are West Ham getting relegated? I think it's in Spurs' hands, isn't it? I mean, Spurs have got Everton and Leeds at home. At home, that's 6 points if they want it. I'm not saying it's easy against Leeds and Everton, but there's 6 points there. Whereas West Ham, I think out of their last 3 games, Arsenal at home, Leeds at home, and Newcastle away, it's tough. I'd love to see Japan do well. I want Austria to do well because I like Ranić. I'd love to see Japan do well. Mexico, South Korea. They tend to play good football. I'm interested to watch Colombia as well. I don't know, you know, Luis Diaz is obviously a fantastic player, but a few people have said keep your eye out for Colombia. Marco Silva looking reflective. They've still got a chance next 3 games. Wonder where he'll be next season. Had a massive offer from Saudi, didn't he, a couple of years ago, and chose to stay at Fulham. So I think he's got the right this summer to choose what's best for him. How will that work with 8 PM games here in the States, says Matt. How will that work with 8 p.m. games here in the States? Oh, if you mean about United stand, well, the same way it works for Champions League games, I would just do United stand at 7. Penalty. Oh no, goal kick. I thought he was pointed at a penalty there against Arsenal. I mean, that would be a bloody nightmare, wouldn't it? Well, I mean, he didn't really appeal for it, but I don't know whether I'd say I've seen them given, but it wasn't far off. Spencer says, if Arsenal win on goal difference by 1, that Liverpool game is going to be a heated conversation where the goal was disallowed for the red. Well, it might be, but it also was technically correct, wasn't it? I mean, I didn't agree with it, but... Are you going to do Egypt against Belgium at 8 p.m. in the World Cup match day 1, says Liverpool? It definitely sounds like a game we're going to do. So only 4 minutes added on. Doesn't look like Arsenal are going to get the 4th. But the fans are happy. And they've still got Bournemouth to cut. They've still got Burnley, haven't they? Good first half. Drab second half. Would you still take Robinson as your left back? He's better than Luke Shaw. But United would never go for him because I think he's about 28, 29 now. Jesper says United should get Ryerson from Dortmund. He's a machine and has the second most assists in the Bundesliga. And he's also from Norway. He's a very good player, but he's also... Fulham! 3v2. Oh, what an interception by Mosquera. I tell you what, those moments are big moments. Because if they got that pass right and they get one back, that knackers up their goal difference. You know, these are important moments now. Really are. Trossard. Just checking the snooker scores. Oh, Sean Murphy beat Higgins. I think I'll be watching that final. Murphy in the final against Allen or... Nah. Offside. Well, it's looking like a 3-0, which is, as I say, it's good. Could have been slightly better, but, you know, maybe you get a bit greedy. Yeah, I'm live on the United Stand at 8 o'clock. Lots to talk about Saturday Night Live. Sorry, meant this is 1 a.m. for you, Night Owl FC. I don't know whether it's on the list, but it might be. Matty says, I'm tempted to go Belgium, New Zealand for the World Cup. I'm local and only $150 for decent seats. I mean, Belgium probably aren't the team they were, if we're being completely honest. I don't even know who plays for Belgium anymore because a lot of their players are obviously older now. He looks content, Arteta. That's the final whistle. I think he would have liked another goal, but you've got to respect the Prem, haven't you? You've got to respect the Prem. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We're back here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for Villa against Spurs. Join in for that. But obviously, we've got Liverpool at United tomorrow. Tune in for Man United's win. And I'm on United Stand at 8 o'clock. I'm going to do a quick match reaction as well. Take care, everyone. I'll speak to you all in a bit.